got one goal today, during today's video session. One goal, to understand the load forward in the swing. That's the goal, okay? And as I'm talking, I want to make sure that you guys are making eye contact with me, and we're going through this video the right way, because I don't want to go through this again. I really want you guys to understand this, and this is the time. If you guys have questions, ask them during the session. I'm okay with, I'd rather have you guys ask them now, as opposed to later on. You're probably going to forget them, okay? So if you have any questions, just raise your hand and we'll kind of go through it together, okay? So the first thing we're going to talk about is we're going to build your swing. We're going to build your swing based not on, we're going to base your swing on you, who you are as an individual, okay? Your style, okay? Focus on what this means. You are unique as a hitter, okay? You guys are all unique as people. What that means in the swing is you're going to find out that a lot of guys do things different ways in their style. So if you've got a guy like, let's say, Evan Longoria, what kind of style does he have when he swings? What kind of style does he have in his setup? Anybody ever watched Evan Longoria? Go ahead.
Up.
Yeah, he's more upright, okay? So he's more up in his legs, not as crouched down, right? Give me an example of a hitter who's more crouched down.
Albert Pujols.
Pujols is a guy who's crouched down.
Chris Bryant.
Chris Bryant's a guy who's more crouched down. Okay? These guys have unique styles that allow them to hit without thinking. And eventually we want to get to that point for you guys. We're not there yet. It's September. It's middle of September for you guys. Our job right now is to basically break down where you're at. Break down where you're at and then build you back up again. Okay? When a major league player hires me, typically it's around October, November, okay? And we'll get 4 solid months of work with those guys, okay? So as we're going through this, understand that this is a slow play. I have pro guys who are in the big leagues before they even know my name that are trying to learn swing mechanics, okay? And these are the best athletes on the planet, and it takes them months to get it, okay? But if you sell into the process, you're going to get results. You will. You'll get results, and we're going to get you guys to the next level. That's how we've done it in the past, and that's how we're going to continue to build it with a bunch of guys, coaches here who are really looking to learn, okay? Style is your own. As you guys are learning to swing, you guys will not hear the coaches. You won't hear the coaches saying, get your elbow up, widen out, narrow up, stand up straight, lower down. You won't hear us say that because you are you. And we want to keep that, okay? Because that's how you're going to be able to hit. But we do want to interject principles. We want to interject principles, and the first principle today we're going to talk about is the load forward, okay? Now I've got Miguel Cabrera on the board here. Can you guys all see okay? Can you guys see okay? Okay, I've got Miguel Cabrera on the board right now, and I want you guys to understand this, okay? First thing, style, right? He's got a unique style, does he not? What do you guys notice in his setup? Go ahead and raise your hand as you see. What do you guys see in his setup right away? Can you see okay?
No.
Okay, he's got more of a kind of a tween stance. He's got himself some slight bend in his knees. He's got relaxed hands close to the shoulder, barrels upright. This is his unique style. I've been watching him since he was 18 years old. He cracked into the big leagues at age 20. And he's been looking basically like this setup for the last 20 years of his life. It's pretty amazing how consistent he's going to be. He's probably one of the top 5 hitters of our generation. What you'll notice is a couple things. This style he has is his own. Now as he goes into his gather, this is also his own, okay? What do I mean by this is his own? Well, I mean by that is he's got a unique gather before he loads forward. What do you guys notice right off the bat in his style as he's gathering? What do you guys notice? Give me some feedback. Landing.
His hands are going down.
Yeah, he's got a unique style with his hands going down. Okay.
His front shoulder pointing.
Yeah, his shoulder will start to dip. We'll talk a little more about that. Zane.
A leg kick.
Yeah, he's got a leg tuck and a leg kick he's initiating right now. Okay. These are style facts. You do not have to do what Miguel Cabrera is doing right here, right now. You don't have to do it, okay? What you have to do is understand that every hitter is going to gather, and your gather is unique. You are you, so be you. This is Cabrera, okay? When you watch Josh Donaldson, he's much more pronounced in his style. His style is much more of a big leg kick and a big hand drop. Don't have to do it, but that helps Josh Donaldson hit because it gives him peace. Find your peace. Okay, so this first gather portion is style. Now we're going to get into some principles, okay? There's a few things when we're loading forward that I want to discuss, okay? The first thing is this. There's a couple main areas of the load. The back leg is one of those areas, those main areas of the load, okay? As we're gathering into our back leg, notice as he gathers into his back leg and his gather stays fairly consistent, and he's putting a lot of the weight on the back leg. How can you tell he's putting a lot of weight in the back leg? How can you tell that the majority of his weight is his back leg right here? What do you think, Judd?
Because his left foot's up.
His front foot's off the ground, so it's got to be in the back leg. Make sense? Okay, because his front foot is off the ground, the majority of his weight is being stored, and you can see the creases in his pants. Can you guys see those creases? Okay, these creases are stored energy. He's beginning to store the energy as he's going to load forward. The load only happens in the forward movement. Okay, the gather he's finishing now, and he's working into his load. This is the important part we're going to talk through here. Okay, there's a couple main pieces. The back leg is going to store energy. Okay, the trunk. What is the trunk? Everybody know what your trunk is? What's your trunk? What is your trunk? Joe, what's your trunk? Trunk is going to be right about from here to about here. This is your trunk. Okay? He's going to load his trunk. What do you guys notice about the front side? His back leg is gathering. I'm going to show you how to do that here momentarily. What do you guys notice about his trunk? Which way is it gathering?
Pointing to the catcher.
It's starting to tilt a little bit, right? Can you notice the crease here? It looks like his shoulders are doing what?
Dipping.
Right? It looks like his shoulders are dropping downhill. Here's what actually is happening. Okay? His serratus muscles, okay, he's basically just contracting here and separating. So when I do this on my side, notice what my shoulders do. So the shoulders are a result of my trunk contracting. Okay? So he is creating stretch here. Why is he doing that? Why is he doing this feeling here? It's like when you do an exercise. You do an ab exercise, you go side to side, right? You use your muscles on the side of your abs for power, right? He's doing the exact same thing in his swing. No one really notices that. People just notice the shoulders. It really is the core. Okay, the core is what's really happening here. And another thing, what do you notice here in the back elbow? Watch this, okay? He just finished his gather. What do you guys notice? What direction is that back elbow working? Up, back towards the catcher, back towards the opposite dugout. Can you guys all see that? So his elbow is going back towards the opposite dugout. Why is that happening? Does anybody know why that's happening? It's kind of tricky. Anybody know why that's happening?
He's loading the scap.
The scap is being loaded. What is your scap? This here is your rear side scap. Okay, this is a really important part. Okay, because as he pinches his scap against the spine, what happens with his elbow? It starts to work back. Again, back leg is part of that load forward. The trunk is part of that load forward. The hands working back, the scap getting loaded is part of that load forward. If you don't have those pieces as you're moving forward, you will not be able to hit at the highest levels of the game. That's a fact. Okay? I would say, what would you say, okay, as hitters, you guys get a chance to see, it looks pretty simple now that you kind of break it down, okay? Because you can see here, if I draw a line at after he's done with his gather, right there, okay? And I take this line, and I draw it down the center of his body, okay? Now notice, which direction is his body moving?
Forward.
Body moves forward, okay? In his load, his load is happening forward, but notice everything else. Notice the stretch in the pants. Can you guys see that? Okay. Notice the stretch in the shirt. Can you guys see that?
Yep.
Notice the direction of the elbow. Can you guys see that? There's a lot of stretch happening in the opposite direction as he's loading forward. So yes, he is moving forward, but he's also loading back. Make sense? And the timing of that is critical. I would say, based on the amount of hitters I've worked with, probably thousands of hitters, okay, that at this point here, okay, notice this is the time now. He's finished his gather, right? He's got his unique hand tuck. He's got kind of his unique shoulder dip. He's got his lift off of his front foot. These are all unique principles. Notice now at this point, what have his hands really done so far, though? Not a whole lot. They're kind of just floating, kind of just getting himself into position to get ready then to do something. At this point, with the leg coming off the ground, I would say that 95% of hitters are already back. Everything's already kind of tucked back. Everything's stretched back. Why is that bad? Why is that bad to have that stretch back early? Joe, why is that bad to have that stretch back early?
You can't adjust the off speed or certain types of pitches?
Yeah, no doubt. Because everything has gone back, now what does everything have to do? What does everything do now? Everything comes forward. So everything is back, and then everything is forward. Okay? Judge, question?
Well, and you're off balance.
Yes, absolutely. You're off balance. No question about that. So, in this move, we're going to go through some drills here to help you guys feel this. His body's working forward, and as that's happening, the load is happening back. I would say that 95% of hitters at this age group cannot effectively do that movement, and it doesn't seem that hard. And it's not that hard if you guys can understand it correctly, okay? So here's what I want to do. I want to take you through this first movement. All we're working on today is that load forward, okay? All we're working on today is that load forward. Now, notice at this point, the height of his leg kick, what have his hands done so far at the height of his leg kick?
Went down.
They've gone down. Have they gone back yet?
No.
No, they've not gone back yet. Okay, let's bring up another guy here. Okay, I was just talking about him, so let's bring him up. Notice this. Notice his unique style. He's a little bit more. He's got his bat a little more flat. He's a little bit wider. Okay, he's got a little bit more in his style. He's got a little bit more of a leg kick. Can you see the difference between that and that? Everybody see the difference? There's definitely some uniqueness there in these hitters. Okay, his is a much more pronounced lower body movement, right? This is style. Do what you want to do to help you get to the next spots. What you're going to notice though is he's going to load forward. How he's going to do so is he gathers the energy in his back hip, stores it in his back hip, his trunk at this point, and then watch the back elbow. The same exact principles are happening. The back legs gather. Look at the stretch being held in his back pants. Notice the stretch in his trunk, and notice which way his back elbows work. See that? See the similarities though, even though it looks a lot different? You guys see the similarities? Any questions on those things so far? Make sense? So what we need for you guys to do in order to find the best version of yourself, okay? In order to find the best version of you, you've got to interject your own style, whether you're a Cabrera guy, whether you're a Pools guy who doesn't have a foot up at all, whether you're a Donaldson guy who's got a lot of movement. I don't care, and we won't coach it out of you, okay? Because it's your style. 95% of coaches are going to coach that out of you. They'll see this, they'll see that on the right, and they'll say, what will they say?
What a hitch.
What a hitch that is, right? Holy cow. You got way too much movement. There's no way when you get to the big leagues or you get to college you would have hit like that against 90 miles an hour. Well, that guy's hitting 100 miles an hour. He hits 40 home runs every year. He's an MVP. We want to follow what the best hitters on the planet do. It's possible as long as you have the principles stuck inside you, okay? And that's what we're going to teach you guys today. Okay, so we're really going to understand how to load forward today, and I've got 4 drills that I want to work through before you guys go, so that you guys can understand what we're doing. Any questions on the video? We're going to go through one more hitter, so you guys can see the differences here, and how unique hitters work different ways. Okay, Jose Bautista, he's got a unique movement, right? There's his gather, he's got his unique gather, a little bit more float backwards, that's fine. But what happens is as he gets that big leg kick, as he moves forward, the energy's stored in his back hip, the core, the trunk is working downhill, and that rear elbow and scap is getting clamped to the spine. Okay? And that's that position we got to get to, that only 5% of you guys will get to. That means one person in this room will get to it in terms of odds. One person gets to it if you're watching. Okay? So your commitment to understand the principles of the swing is what's going to dictate your ability and how high you go. Period. You know, there's a lot of guys. This is a beautiful game. You don't have to be 6'5". You don't have to be a 6'5" athlete, right? In football, you better be a stud. In baseball, you got Dustin Pedroia. That guy's a stud. And he's 5'6", 160 pounds, right? So that's a great thing about our game. You guys can understand principles, get these things down, and you guys can be the best version of yourself. And that's what we're after. So we're going to take this outside now. Any questions on that? We're going to take this outside. I'm going to demonstrate some drills for you guys that can help you feel this load forward. Okay? All right, here we go.